On July 6, 2026, at Dallas Stadium in Texas, a 41-year-old man stood alone on the pitch while Spain celebrated around him. Cristiano Ronaldo, 5 Ballon d'Ors, 900 career goals, the most famous athlete on planet Earth, had just played the final World Cup match of his life. And he was crying. One day earlier, in New Jersey, Neymar had walked off the pitch at MetLife Stadium and said 9 words that broke Brazil's heart. "It started here at MetLife Stadium and I finished here. It is now over. This World Cup is not just a tournament. It is a farewell tour for the greatest generation football has ever produced. And one by one, they are saying goodbye." Today, we honor 5 legends playing their final World Cup and stay until the very end, because the last name on this list is one that nobody, absolutely nobody expected. He is not 40 years old. He is not 41. And that is exactly why his goodbye hurts the most. Start with the man whose ending hurt the most. Cristiano Ronaldo was 21 years old when he played his first World Cup in 2006. 20 years later, he arrived in North America at 41, the oldest outfield player in the entire tournament, chasing the only major trophy missing from the most decorated career in football history. Think about what this man has won: 5 Champions Leagues, 5 Ballon d'Ors, a European Championship, league titles in England, Spain, and Italy, 143 international goals, more than any man who has ever played the game. And yet, in 6 World Cups across 2 decades, Ronaldo never scored a single knockout round goal. The biggest stage in football was the one stage that never bowed to him. This was supposed to be different. Portugal's squad was stacked. Vitinha and João Neves running midfield, Bruno Fernandes coming off a record-breaking season with Manchester United. Roberto Martinez built the entire team around one final push for the one trophy that would end every greatest of all time debate forever. And then came Spain. 1-0, round of 16, over. The cameras found Ronaldo at the final whistle, and the whole world watched a man realize that the dream was dead. 6 World Cups, 0 trophies. The greatest goal scorer in history will retire without the game's greatest prize. And somehow, that unfinished ending makes him even more human than all the records ever did. A country of fewer than 4 million people. A midfielder who looks like he weighs less than the trophy itself. And yet, for 20 years, Luka Modric dragged Croatia to heights that defy every law of football logic. His childhood alone should have broken him. Modric grew up during the war in Croatia. His grandfather was killed, his family became refugees, and a young Luka learned football in a hotel parking lot while grenades fell in the hills. From that parking lot, he rose to become the greatest midfielder of his generation. A World Cup final in 2018, where he won the Golden Ball as the tournament's best player, 3rd place in 2022, 6 Champions Leagues with Real Madrid, and a Ballon d'Or in 2018 that broke the Messi-Ronaldo duopoly when the entire world said it was impossible. At 40 years old, he joined AC Milan just to keep his legs sharp for one final World Cup, his 5th, nearly 200 international caps, 20 years of service to his nation. And when Croatia's road ended against Portugal in an instant classic knockout battle that fans are already calling one of the games of the tournament, Modric walked off with his head high. No anger, no drama, just quiet dignity. The quiet genius is gone. Midfield will never look this elegant again. Neymar Jr. was never supposed to be here at all. 2.5 years away from the national team. A body destroyed by injuries. Critics saying he was finished at 34, and then Carlo Ancelotti wrote his name into Brazil's squad, and a nation dared to dream one more time. Brazil's all-time leading scorer, yes, ahead of Pelé, carried the weight of the most demanding football country on earth since he was a teenager. In 2014, his World Cup ended with a broken vertebra. In 2018, with mockery. In 2022, with penalty heartbreak against Croatia while he sat sobbing on the grass. And in 2026, it ended where it began. Norway knocked Brazil Out in the round of 16 at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey, the very same stadium where Neymar's World Cup story had come full circle. He did not hide from the cameras. He stood there and said it plainly. It started here at MetLife Stadium, and I finished here. It is now over. No excuses, no promises of one more run. Just a man closing the book on the most beautiful, most heartbreaking chapter Brazilian football has seen since Ronaldo Nazario. And then there is him. Lionel Messi turned 39 during this tournament. When he chose Inter Miami in 2023, everyone understood the real reason. The 2026 World Cup would be played in his new backyard, and the greatest player of all time wanted one final dance on home soil. His World Cup story is already the greatest sports story ever told. The teenage debut in 2006, a goal and an assist in his very first game. The heartbreak of the 2014 final, walking past the trophy he could not touch, a picture that haunted football for 8 years. And then the redemption of Qatar in 2022, lifting the World Cup at last, completing football, ending the debate forever. He had nothing left to prove. He came back anyway, chasing a second star for Argentina's shirt, playing his record 6th World Cup, crossing the 200 cap barrier, carrying a football-mad nation on a 39-year-old body one final time. Whatever happens in these final days of the tournament, whether it ends in glory or in tears, understand what you are watching. This is the last time. There is no 2030 for Messi. When he walks off that pitch for the final time, the greatest chapter in the history of this sport closes forever. But here is the name nobody expected on this list, because every other legend in this video is fighting time. Ronaldo is 41, Modric is 40, even Messi is 39. Their goodbyes were written in the calendar years ago. Mohamed Salah is only 34. And this is still his last World Cup. Think about how unfair that sentence is. The Egyptian king, one of the greatest African players to ever touch a football. The kid from Nagreg, a small village in the Nile Delta, who traveled 4.5 hours each way, 5 days a week, just to attend training in Cairo. The man who conquered the Premier League, won the Champions League, broke goal-scoring records that stood for decades, and turned Liverpool back into champions of England. And yet, the World Cup never gave him a fair chance. Egypt is not Brazil. Egypt is not Argentina. Before Salah, the Pharaohs had qualified for just one World Cup since 1994. He single-handedly dragged them back to the world stage. Twice. In 2018, he arrived with a destroyed shoulder from the Champions League final, scored in both games he played anyway, and watched his team go home in the group stage through no fault of his own. This summer, after his legendary run at Liverpool came to its end, Salah led Egypt into only their 4th World Cup in history, knowing this was the final chance. Not because his body is failing, not because he cannot run anymore, but because when you carry an entire nation alone, the window closes faster. By the next World Cup, he will be 38, and Egypt without Salah does not qualify. That is why his farewell is the cruelest one. Ronaldo got 6 chances, Messi got 6. Salah's greatness was never given the stage it deserved, and the world barely noticed him leaving it. The King of Egypt is walking away, and most of the world did not even realize this was goodbye. Ronaldo in tears in Dallas. Modric's final masterpiece. Neymar's full circle in New Jersey. Messi's last ride. And Salah, the goodbye nobody saw coming. We are the last generation that got to watch them all play. The kids who come after us will watch highlights and wonder if the stories were exaggerated. They were not. It was all real, and it ended here, in one unforgettable American summer. If this video gave you chills, hit subscribe, because after the final on July 19th, we are breaking down the single greatest World Cup moment of this entire tournament. You will want to be here for that one.